All right, I need to make a welding cart for my new PrimeWeld 225 TIG machine I got hidden up in there. I don't like it underneath the bench there, and because my shop is so tiny, I need to have it mobile more than anything. So what I decided to do was I bought this Harbor Freight Mechanics 5-door Mechanics cart, and I'm going to modify that to fit not only the TIG torch or the TIG machine, but the water cooler that goes with it. And you can see that my shop is like wicked tiny. It's like 12 by 12, and I've got it stuffed full of stuff. I'm not exactly sure where it's going to sit yet. I think I'm going to move this air compressor, or stick it over here or something, or probably clean up this corner. I don't know. But I'm going to modify that. There's a couple issues with it where the water cooler won't fit underneath the 5-door portion of it, but I'm going to modify that a little bit and you'll see that process. So let's get that thing out of the truck. All right, let's unbox this thing and get to the vision. All right, I need to get this thing put together like fast. I got a ton of stuff to do today. Alright, well, I jacked this up. I installed the wheels, but I forgot I need to make a base on this to hold the welding tank. So I just got back from the steel yard, and I got some 2-inch angle, which I'm going to cut up to make the base. It looks like there's enough room in here for 2 tanks. I don't have a plan to install 2 tanks, but thinking I will build it for 2 tanks. I'm going to move it all the way to the one side at the very least. Maybe I can put in some filler holders or something like that. So let me build the base of this. And what I want to do, this is upside down. I want to build it, have the angle go from here to here, but then I need to leave about 8 to 9 inches for the tank off the back of it. So alright, I am cutting front and the back of the cart braces first, and I'll lay them on there and kind of design the rest as I go. I'm cutting them long and I'll have to trim them to fit. I'm not sure exactly where the tank's going to line up, because I want to do some things with how the tank sits against the box and everything. So I'm going to cut them long, and then I'll bolt everything together. I'll build the whole cart, and then we'll kind of see where the tank sets up once the whole cart is together. So let's cut this couple pieces out. So I'm going to take this leg, just put it right here. That should give me a wicked strong base to roll everything out on. You can see I beveled the side, which I don't know why. I kind of always just like to bevel it. I'll do one for this side. So let's do that. Let's put that one where it's gonna go, right there. You can see I left the back end real long. Can determine what I need to do back there, because I don't know yet. It's always jacked up. Looks like it's good. Looks like it's good. So I'm gonna clean those up, get the mill scale off, and weld. Alright, I need to cut the back one now, which is right there. And like I said, no bevel. So I got that piece cut. Let's see if it fits right in here. I need to trim. Alright, I am going to reassemble this on the workbench and we will weld that up. Alright, I've got it mostly in place, or mostly not in place, I guess. I'm just going to weld this corner first and make sure it's square, which my thingamajigger says it is. Alright, that's a good one. So I'm going to make this good. I'm going to put the base in there of the toolbox. I think I'm just going to tack the inside since I have it like that. It looks like it fits perfect. So there you can see the base in. Hopefully that's good. It's really just sitting in there. The feet will, the casters will bolt to the bottom, but right, let's take that out and that needs to get welded. I don't know how the heck that tacked though. Jeez. It's like perfect. Big fat weld in there because I had to cover up the tacks that I jacked up. I'm not going to weld the inside of that because I need the base to sit flat. So what I'm going to do is drop the base in there. I'm probably going to start marking out casters are going to mount. Alright, I marked the location of the casters and now I'm going to drill the holes for them. I think I'm just going to omit the fourth hole, which would go like right in this area here. It's going to be way stronger, so I'm going to skip it, I believe, because the amount of fab needed just for that extra mounting holes more than I want to do at the moment, and I think that, or that I know this is way stronger than the original. And the bolts that they provided are probably just a tad too short. So I'm going to use this bag of hardware that I have from somewhere. It's going to be a ton of work. I think that might be dull. Alright, I've got the base of this built for this welding cart. Now I just need to figure out how to mount the top part of the welding cart on it. I was gonna build some uprights for this, but I don't have enough metal left, so I'm gonna use the original legs, but I need to extend them up a little bit, make enough room for the water cooler. So I gotta figure out what the height of that water cooler is, and then we'll go from there. Okie dokie. Let's see. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the original legs of the tool cart and I'm going to TIG them weld, or not TIG weld, I'm going to weld them into the corners right there. I wasn't going to weld these, I was just going to bolt them, but I think that welding them will make it a lot sturdier because it's going to have a lot of weight on the top of it. I'm going to bolt them first and then we will weld them all together. Not exactly sure how I'm gonna attach these braces to the base. I probably should just weld them like I said earlier, but thinking in my head there's a better way, which there probably is not. Just raised up the legs one hole. That only gives me one bolt hole for mounting right here, but alright, now we're gonna tack it. I was gonna tack it on the inside here, but I've decided it'll just be easy, just as easy to tack it right here. It'll actually be easier. So I'm gonna clean up these corners with this cool Hercules right angle die grinder, and then we're gonna lay some beads. Probably overkill, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Alright, it's not the best welding job I've ever done, but it will be fine. Hit this with some paint too to cover up those welds. And then we'll put it back together. It's gonna be a little bit easier to work on it. I'm getting old. Alright, I've got all the wheels bolted on, but now I just need to trim these up. Just left about a 3/4 of an inch. As long as there's 2 threads, I am good with it. I've got this, I don't know, I think it's 100, maybe 80. It's gonna sit right here. So I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna keep it on the cart because it's nice to work up high. And we're gonna see how to set this tank up. I almost messed up. I was gonna cut it 9 inches from here to fit the bottle. Forgot I need to put up here some type of brace to hold the bottles up here that I will then, you know, put a chain around or something like that. So I need to do that first. So I'm gonna cut a piece of angle that bridges these two and mount it right here. Good thing I double checked because that would have been a massive mess up. So all right, now I need to lay out the spot where the tanks are gonna go. I'm gonna do 2, I believe. What I'm doing is finding the center point of this radius I want to cut. So now I need to find the circular thing that is roughly 7 inches, which, let's see what these cutoff wheels are that I have. So I'm using the right angle grinder to my 7-inch cutoff wheel and 7 1/8. I don't think it's gonna get much closer than that. So, in case you haven't noticed, this would be the smallest shot on YouTube. It's about 12 foot by 12 foot. And it sometimes can get tough when I got multiple things going on like I do right now. Alright, I've got it clamped here. And then I'm just going to weld the edges right now and weld the floor here. And then we'll put some type of base. That is the plan next. Funny how easy it is to weld when clean all the joints properly. Alright, I got the cart down on the ground. I got the tank rack built. And now we got to get the top of the box, which is sitting right here, up on that. So I'm going to roll it somewhere and do something with it. Of course, this part is the heaviest part, so just put the top box in. I think I'm going to try bolting that up. I got the tank rack built, and I'll bolt the tank holder to this side. Alright, front handle done. Let's move on to the back, where it's going to be slightly more complicated because I'm going to be putting on, trying to fit up this tank holder. We got it. Got the handle on, got the tank holder on, so let's place a tank in there and see what it looks like. Let's put the welder in it. Let's get the welder installed. So that is the welder installed in the cart. And I wanted this cart just because it has all this room for the supplies and stuff for the welder. But one thing I'm missing is like a hose holder, so I need to fab up a hose holder of some kind, which I will probably install down here underneath the handle somewhere. So this is one of the torches. We'll just stick that in there. Torch, adapter, more consumables, lead for stick welding, which I'll probably never use. I'm glad I got a lot of extra space up here, which will come in handy just storing some miscellaneous stuff. I gotta find a place to put the filler rod, which I was thinking about doing it right in here. I was gonna open up those holes, but I'm gonna have plenty of room in the back, so I'll probably do it there. But plenty of room in here for this stuff. So I'm pretty psyched with that, and that's the reason that, like I said, why I got this was I want to be able to store all my TIG stuff in one area. And I got consumables, it's just some miscellaneous cords which will be installed once I fully hook it up. There's the old foot pedal. I have a drawer completely empty here, and then I have underneath where I will put the water cooler. Back is the tank. And that's the setup so far. Let's see if the filler rod fits in any of these holes. It'd be pretty cool if it would fit. It's like really close. So I was thinking about putting it there. So for now, I'm just gonna use the holder that these rods came in, and this thing is a little over an inch, or about an inch in diameter. And this tool cart has these holes in the back of it. Here, there's 3 big ones and a couple small ones, but I'm gonna use the step bit, and I'm gonna open that up, and then I'll put a little shelf down here, and that way I'll just be able to slide the rod holder right in there, and that will hold it. They'll stick up about this high, which is fine. Yowzers. Alright, that's exactly how I want it. Got it. Alright, as long as these slide in and out, should be good. Alright, I've got the chain that I'm going to use to hold the bottle on, so I got to drill some holes for that, and that will keep the tank nice and safe. And then I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do to hold the hoses, but alright, I think I'm pretty close to done, so let's do a little walk around. Here is the cart for the TIG welder. This is a PrimeWeld 225. I've got the Harbor Freight Mechanics tool cart, and what you can see I've done is I built a little base for it, or screwed the wheels in the bottom of that, built a little platform for the tank, and made it so the tank is held on by a chain here. But I've also drilled out some of these holes for screwdrivers or whatnot, and I made it so you could put the filler rod there. Now I may upgrade this area so I can put the big filler rod tubes, but for now this will do. The only thing that I need to add is some type of hose holder, which I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna put one right here in the front, and then the lid I left on, and I'll probably mount 1 or 2 right there. But I'm going to hard mount this lid just like that. That way, if I ever want to turn it back into a tool cart, I can do it. I've only made minimal holes in this thing, so it should still work pretty well. And then you can see the drawers. So I've got one of the foot pedals here. Got consumables up in here. Just miscellaneous wire. Another container for some consumables, which I haven't put in yet. And then this bottom one's got a ton of stuff in it. Got 2 torches in here, torch protector, whatever's in that, I don't remember. This is the Bluetooth pedal, which I haven't messed with yet. So a ton of storage. And yeah, I've got plenty of room in here to put a bunch of consumables. And the reason I wanted this cart was because I raised it up enough where I can actually fit the water cooler that goes with this TIG, and that was a big thing. I could have got, you know, the Harbor Freight big Vulcan cart, but it just was way too big for my shop, and it didn't really do what I wanted to do. So I figured out how to modify this one, and I think this will do all right. And I'm gonna stick it in this corner of my shop. I gotta pull out this shelving, and it'll sit up against this wall, which I'll run a plug to. Be good to go.